Hello. How's things going here? We're starting the stream, the Fixvirus inaugural stream. I was trying to think of what could actually stream about. You know, there's a lot of different streams. I don't want to be just like one of the other ones. So, I mean, nobody knows about it right now, so it's easy, I guess, because you can do whatever you want, really, and it's just another video. But what I wanted to do was discuss um, my top 30 links, I guess, and basically my top 30 links. I created it a long time ago for myself. It's I wanted to have some news sites that I would frequently visit that are important to know what's going on in the computers cybersecurity industry. So I created this little list myself. It basically is a good list to keep up. I've been keeping up on it for multiple years. So I last updated it on May 15th, where I added this record media link, number two. Um, yeah, I wonder if you can see that. No, I guess not. Yeah, this the record media. I thought that was a pretty good link because it's actually about cybersecurity. So it's a cyber crime, actually. Sorry, it is cybersecurity, but it's about cyber crime. But going back to um, this is, I mean, I'm showing a little bit of the. Here, I'll move it around a little. So I'm showing a little bit of the actual website, which I keep, yeah, I frequent every now and then. So it has different news of of the day of cybersecurity type stuff. So anyway, um, we have 8 values that I keep up on. So the number one, I mean, a lot of these are subjective. I keep them up myself, and I have a number from 1 to 10 on each of them, and then like the number one site. I have it on another computer here. The number one site has 50 points, for example. So it has some kind of a website value, a cybersecurity value, and then AI news, and of course, for example, like Daniel Miesler, the number one site has a 10 on AI news because he's such a good site about AI. So Dan Miesler is a pretty good person. He does things to do with. I mean, it's mostly programming and his own. He created this. Well, let's just read a little bit of what he himself talks about. He's out of San Francisco Bay Area. He wants to create a good version of AI future, human 3.0 he calls it, and avoid the bad one. He builds AI systems. He's been in cybersecurity for a while if you keep reading. He creates apps and tools within the AI space, and he helps companies deal with AI. So, and he created this blog site, which first it was just his thoughts and what he's thinking about and what he's doing, but now it's more like his projects, because he created this Fabric AI framework. So I thought that it's a person that I would definitely want to keep up on because he seems like a person that is like plugged into the Silicon Valley area anyway. Sometimes I like to keep up on some things or sections of the cybersecurity world depending on what's happening in that part of the world. So anyway, so that's why I kind of left it at number one. And he updates frequently. That's an important one. He's got a 10 on that. Now, I did also create like a China news, which is, number four, which is not just China, but it's hacker news, I guess. I guess I should keep that in mind. I should make sure in my spreadsheet I put it as China news, but it's not just China. It's attacker news. In my last video, I was talking about the general attackers on because they use our identity to then create fraud in the government. So that's an interesting aspect of this whole thing because as I mentioned then, you there's many sections, many areas of where people are attacking. So, you don't, as an attacker, you don't need to know everything. So now you can literally sell your specific knowledge and people will buy your knowledge in like a marketplace. And it's all on the darknet now. So anyway, it's an interesting point, the attackers, and that's kind of why I wanted to keep it its own heading. So I like a hacker news. It's a very good page, and I see the hacker news on my browser, and it's a smaller section here. And oh, by the way, I like this background of the bot farms. It's an interesting little thing that I found. I found it on the China show, uh, one of their videos. They basically find all these videos on the Chinese um, YouTube or wherever they are on. They got all these other Chinese apps because they can speak Chinese. They used to live there anyway. I recommend that you watch the China show if you're so interested in that kind of topic and stuff. I mean, I think it's interesting in cybersecurity because they do talk about different attacks and angles. So, and then of course there's news on vulnerabilities and exploits. That's an important too. So Miesler doesn't really rank that high on that. The record media does rank higher there. And Hacker News has been better in the past. A few weeks ago, it wasn't really that good because it created a bunch of political items, which I really try to stay away from the politics because, I mean, I do look at politics, I read it, and I keep up on it, but I don't try to put it into my business, and I don't really talk to my clients about politics. I mean, it's not, I follow the rules of don't talk about politics, women, and religion to your clients. They're kind of like in the officers club. That was the rule in an officers club. So you don't talk about women, politics, or religion. So that's kind of my rule with my clients. I don't talk about any of that stuff. So of course, if I'm talking to a woman, I'm not going to talk about her husband or whatever, or depending on the relationships, and that's all. You get the message. Anyway, so I was thinking I probably need to, it's June 6th now. Probably need to update my top 30 link here. Which what should I update? So when I look at how to update this, I first of all just check the different links to see how they're doing. So Hacker News, do they have information for cybersecurity? Oh yeah, there's a couple of. It's interesting that India has these fake call centers, and they have like tech support scams over there, just like Pakistan has them. So there are actual tech support centers in India, which for legitimate ones. But it's interesting that these scam call centers have also been created in India. I mean, it's kind of a black mark for them, but anyway, it's a large country, so there's many different types of people, I guess. All right. So what else? New path, wiper data, wiper malware disrupts Ukrainian critical infrastructure. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's in Ukraine, so it's probably specific to their devices and stuff. And look, this is kind of interesting. Identity security has an automation problem, and it's bigger than you think. Let's take a look at this article. Many organizations identify identity security appears to be under control. So there's some new research out. It's had insights. So it's a survey. Fewer than 4% of security teams have fully automated their core identity workflows. Oh, well, so this kind of tells me it's for probably for enterprise companies. So there's always still human error. So everybody would love to make everything automated, but it doesn't work that way. There's always some human involvement, and human involvement means you're going to have errors. So it's not too. Hacker News is not too bad these days. Let's move on to dark reading. Let's see how dark reading does things. It's taking a little while. Well, sometimes it takes a little while to load. Anyway, the series explores mental, physical hardships of CSOs. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of a thing. Sometimes people talk about the mental aspects of cybersecurity, because it's if you're in the front lines, if you're in the SOC, you're always on. Well, when you're at work, and sometimes they make you be on when you're off work too. So it depends on the kind of job you have. So that's why they're saying the hardships of the CISOs. I don't know if that's. It's kind of like a big company problem, though, usually. So I'll just keep moving. Oh, there's the click fix again. I've read about the click fix. So click fix is an interesting little tactic that the hackers have created. Let's talk about click fix. Several widespread click fix campaigns are underway, bent on delivering malware to business targets. It's a new level of phishing sophistication that defenders need to be prepared for. Yeah, that's true. So, what is a click fix? It has been snowballing. Where does it explain it? Okay, Fixvirus came to light as an attack method last year when Proofpoint researchers observed compromised websites serving overlay error messages to visitors. Maybe they'll explain it a little bit here. I think I've talked about this on a post in the last few weeks. So let's figure out exactly how it works. So the attackers are tricking people into cutting and pasting malicious PowerShell scripts. To infect their own machines with the rats and info stealers. So rats are like scripts and stuff that get downloaded. So basically what happens is you get an email and you might tell you to call somebody, or however, somehow these attackers are getting you to copy and paste a specific set of instructions into your PowerShell. So I'm not going to actually do that because to me, I think that's showing how it can be done is a bad idea. So let's just talk about it. The rats are remote access Trojans. It's basically a program or a script. It depends on. So threat actors using fake browser updates and software fixes to trick users into cutting, copying, and pasting PowerShell scripts loaded with various malware strains to infect the computers. Okay. Two methods of social engineering are used in the activity. One that offers fake browser updates and yet another clear fake campaign, and the other that delivers error messages related to Word, Google, Chrome, and OneDrive, dubbed ClickFix by the researchers. So here it is. The campaigns show our users are a pop-up text box that suggests an error occurred when trying to open a document or web page. And then further instructions to copy and paste a malicious script into their PowerShell terminal or the Windows Run dialog box to eventually execute the script via PowerShell, they said. So a couple things happen. So some kind of error seems to come up. But in reality, it's this fake program that is trying to infect your computer. So the other one thing is to see what's going on. Another thing is how can we solve, besides not doing what people are telling you. I mean, you have to kind of. This is not, like Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. When someone calls you out of the blue or an email comes to you and tells you to do something, it's not trust but verify. It's, I don't really trust this. Is this even legitimate? I mean, if somebody really wants me to do something specific, they pretty much would have to call me and I would know them. And I recognize their voice. Anyway, of course, that may change in the future because of AI voices, but there would have to be a specific set of actions done before I would actually do something that someone told me to do. So you have to create a new social engineering policy. That reminds me, I probably need to create that. security policy to defend against clickfix. That's a good point. See, because the message included instructions to click a button to copy a PowerShell script and then provided steps on how to manually run this script. I'm like, it's basically like one of these jokes that would tell you this is what you need to do. And basically, it's like instructions to have you delete all your data. So, I mean, who would actually delete all of their data, even if the instructions are there? So this is basically what this is. These people are telling you to do something bad, and you follow them. Just go ahead and do it. It's no big deal, right? Somebody's telling me something to do, so I just got to do it. No, no. That's not how it works. Anyway, let's go back to our security analyzed. So dark reading is good. I like dark reading. They have a lot of good articles. This is a good article. I may create a security policy out of this. See, this is what happens. I read these stories and it reminds me something, and that's how I create a lot of my work and stuff. Linux Security is a good site, but it's, if it focuses too much on Linux. Let's see what it looks like. It's not just all the other sites. Anyway, Linux ransomware, of course, that's important. And OpenAI, so they are talking about AI. I know what did I put on AI for it? So I put a 2. Maybe I should put a 3 or 4. And it does have cybersecurity news. The attacker news, I wonder if the attacker news are in here. Well, there's more patches and things. Yeah, this is a interesting topic. Is Linux a more secure option than Windows for business? So in some cases it is, but if you can't use it, what's the point? So it's only good for a few people. But Linux has gone a long way. You can run Office and email and a lot of things, whereas in the past you wouldn't be able to do that. Anyway, but I wouldn't necessarily just sell all my Windows machines and install Linux. Sell them while you still can, because Windows 11 is going to be crazy. As eventually, they're going to force you to use AI, or this is the privacy people's worries. Going to force you to use AI, and that AI is going to know everything that you do. And now that all that data is somewhere, the hackers and attackers can get to it as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm all for not running only one type of operating system. I would have some Linux machines, but I don't know if I would have all Linux machines. That would be a specific environment. Even if you were programming in Linux, you'd still probably need some Windows machines. Anyway, so I guess we'll leave Linux security there. Maybe I'll work on the bottom section. Sometimes I do that just because I get rid of some of these ones. I've always liked Bruce Schneier, and on Friday He has his Squid Report or whatever he calls it. I got several of his books. Hearing on the Federal Government and AI. Oh, look. So he's got AI stuff too. Bruce Schneier, he goes up and down sometimes. Yeah, I guess I didn't see any AI stuff on him. Now I could add and give him a few more. He he's gotten better. So maybe we will. That's what we'll do. We're gonna bring him up a little. I've been happy with some of the things that I've been reading over the last few weeks. Yeah, so this is good. AI, if you use AI to enhance what you're doing, can be very useful. And of course, everybody's talking about that one Ukraine drone attack. But the it's yeah, this is an interesting point. I mean, he makes an interesting point. If the Ukrainians could sneak drones so close to major air bases in a police state such as Russia, what is to prevent the Chinese from doing the same with U.S. air bases, with the Pakistanis with Indian air bases, with the North Koreans with South Korean air bases? Militaries that thought they had secured their air bases with electrified fences and guard posts will now have to reckon with the threat from the skies posed by cheap, ubiquitous drones that can be easily modified for military use. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but there was an attack on the nuclear air fleet in Russia by basically a bunch of drones. It took them 18 months to stage the attack. They were planning it for a while, but it was very successful, and they didn't use very expensive equipment to destroy these, you know, multi-million ruble planes. Anyway, so I guess I'll give him a few more numbers, and he's already moved up a couple spots just by giving a few more numbers on AI. Maybe that's enough. Let's just move him a couple up. I sometimes don't try to like overdo too much. You know, I don't try to change too much. I guess that's what I really want to say. I'm just doing the one or two items, and then I see how it goes, and then in a couple of weeks I'll change it again or something. So if that's the case, who else should we look at? Well, let's look at the bottom dwellers because I've been monkeying around with those guys. Oh, I think I lost it. Depends on what I. Anyway. Uh-oh. That's not good. I mean, obviously it's in here somewhere, but maybe it'll just. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's in the. It's in its cache. It just have to figure out. Anyway. So yeah, let's go look at the bottom stuff. So I moved Schneier up a couple. Let's see what I've been. So I had a little quandary. I have a tie in the number 30. So I didn't decide what to do with Sands Digital and Rand Corp a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I guess. So I kind of like the Asaka Now blog because it does give some information, but I guess let's see if it has some AI stuff. Let's take a look at a few of these at the bottom there and see what's going on. So I'm CISA certified. So now that's ISACA's certification, CISA, as you can see here. This lady is CISA certified, for example. And, it basically allows you to do, it gives you a lot of information on auditing. So you could do cybersecurity audits and things like that. Um, they're always, they are starting to do a lot more AI stuff. So I should add the AI. I don't think I did that to this. At least to give him some AI, some numbers. I don't think I gave anything for that. Huh. Well, that's just doing that brings Iseka now out of the dead. I guess they're not. They're not gonna fall over and drop down below 30. I like to keep it in the 30. I don't want to do more because eventually, I mean, at the bottom here, they, they they become less and less useful. It's just the way it goes. So it has some vulnerability and exposure here. Well, just making those two changes moved Isaka now from 29th through 24th, it looks like. Oh, it's tied. So it'll be 25th then. Okay, that's interesting. So if we do that, then Rapid 7 blog, how is that one doing? Rapid 7. Sometimes the companies that have these cybersecurity blogs, they stop updating them, or they get busy, or they decide they're not going to do it anymore. They move it. Who knows what they're doing? See, look, it's not really. They've been talking about it, but it's like not there anymore. Now today it released the 2024 attack intelligence. This must be from months ago. Let's take a look at it. So they sometimes, it's not even that. It's wait, that's from last year. Oh man. Well, I guess we'll. So instead of dropping Sans Digital and Rancorp, I'm gonna drop Rapid 7 blog. It's gone. I'm not that happy about that, but they used to be a decent blog. But you know, updates frequently, it's gonna be down to like nothing. So it's gonna, yeah, it's dropped itself below 20, and I think 20 is the magic number basically. All right, so actually I didn't change digital forensic. So okay, so now I have to actually change it on the website and then update it and um, make it, the new top 30 updated page June 6th. So I'm not going to do that right now on this blog stream here. How long how long have I been blabbing about my top 30? I don't know. It's been probably about 20 something minutes. No, 35 minutes. Okay. Well, anyway, I just wanted to. I guess maybe I'll do that every couple of, and then if some people would like to see it or talk to me while I'm doing my edits here, uh, that would be fine. We can have a streaming discussion, like a quick discussion online with over text or however. You can always contact me to talk to me about cybersecurity. Let me know what you need. We're just today is not as eventful of a day. Yeah, but that's maybe I'll do that every couple of Fridays or so. I'll create these live streams, and I know this first one was kind of unique and stuff, so I'll promote it a little bit. But I just wanted to try it out, see how it went first, and maybe if it didn't work, could always delete it and stuff. But I think it was okay, right? I don't know. Let me know if you watch this in the future, like the stream. Anyway, so in a normal video that I make, I always have my bumper music. That's these fancy sticks. See, so I'm gonna finish the stream with my bumper music sticks. It is awesome. I found them. These are I don't remember now, but I got them on Etsy several years ago from somebody in Ireland, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I've got the invoice somewhere. The Etsy invoice. So okay, I can do some other posts and stuff on the actual um, the information on this stream. I'll try to add a few more informations, and especially once I edit it. So thanks. Talk to me if you need me. Check me out at fixvirus.com. Oversitesentry, all about cybersecurity auditing, and I do vulnerability assessments. I can do security policies. I also have security policies on my Oversitesentry shop. Yeah, we can take a look at that real fast before I actually shut that off. I'm going to be creating more and more security policies. So I know this is like a work in progress here. It's the default sorting, sort of by popularity. I'm just starting really. I'm going to have a lot of them. So I do have a couple books. I have the Too Late You're Hacked guide and the Too Late You're Hacked book. Here's the guide for $9, and the book is $19.99. So I created a security policy, social engineering, um, and its section or like a portion of it, and that's the price of it right here, $49. I also have one for an accounting firm, which I helped. I also have a basic template, VCI compliance basic template, which I gave a little bit, a little cheaper, just to see. And you can always give me some donations if you like my streams, so I can keep this up. That's how that's how this stuff works, and YouTube and Rumble and stuff. Maybe I'll do a live stream on Rumble. I don't know. Anyway, we will see you later. I already gave you the bumper music. Thanks for listening in the future.